I kind of want to see if we can go 2 for 2 in teams closing it out on the first 2 maps available.
I hear you. I think that's exciting. Can I get some Space City in my life, boomers? Can I just say, I don't want you to necessarily let it go that far because you might throw your win. But I want to see Space City. I love Space City. It's a very fun map. It's very sweaty. And I'm looking forward to seeing if our players are able to get there. But the onus responsibility to get to Space City is on every team aside from the Boomers. They said, Coach, I have no interest in Space City. I have only interest in Mandelbricks. And you know what? For that, I would say fair enough, my friends. Let's see what they're able to do. We got a lot of fans for the Boomers in the chat. I see all of you guys cheering them on, talking about bald people and everything in between. Hey, my man is crushing it. Nowhere is at the top, round MVP, playing for overall MVP, and the team is at the top. So I respect the bald man absolutely crushing this competition. Let's hop into the game and see what happens here, Tiff. Brackish, it's time, and a quick look at the spawns. Break it down for me.
All right, give us all the good things. You can see that FBWL is going to be down there in the new Tower of Babel with the Boomers outside of it. Now, Boomers fans in chat, I need you guys to give me all of your best Boomer jokes, okay? I want you to give them to Goj, and I want him to use those jokes to some way, shape, or form in his commentary in this map. I feel like it's a fun challenge, and I feel like he can rise to the occasion. But keep your tabs on the Mandelbrick spawn. Look where it is, Royal Museum. Look who's there. Squidward and Grimunity.
And honestly, good for them. Got a good RNG look because these are the 2 teams at the bottom of the leaderboard. Grimunity and Team Squidward hadn't been able to get anything going. And I will say, both of these teams picked up a Mandelbrick in the semifinals. So this is a little bit a return to form for them, playing around this Mandelbrick, potentially taking a second place position, if not first, depending on how this goes. There is a timer before you can pick it up, so nobody can pick it up for another 60 seconds or so, but both of these 2 teams are going to probably fight each other pretty quick around the brick, while the other teams play around some of the decoding stations. Now, FBWL, obviously, in the boom, down there at the bottom, Boomers, both playing around Babel and both playing fairly slow. They've got plenty of time. You can take a look at where these decoding stations are as well, by the way, all on the north side. We've got Blue River Hotel, and then we've got the one in the middle, and then the Asara camp on the right-hand side. It's going to be the market one in the middle. And the market was the decoding station that was a little bit scary for some of our teams to play around. Camp also fairly scary. I think I tend to like the decoding station on the left side of the map the most, but it's really just kind of depends on what setup you have and how many teams are in the area once you get there.
I mean, all valuable shout outs. I mean, if you think the hotel is the one that you're going to say, hey, we should go for that one, maybe it happens. But for Grimunity here, looking on ways, playing very cautiously, just trying to scout it out, okay? They know the Mandelbrick's nearby. They want to procure it. And Grim here needs to watch over.
It's a good spot. You can see, by the way, folks at home, even teams at the bottom, they can still bring in pretty good gear. And it's worth mentioning that we have round compensation, so even if you die every round, you will have some money, just not as much as the other teams. Usually around 350k for the first couple rounds, and then it ramps up to 700k, which is nice. You all know how expensive some of these items can be that you want, especially ammo. So the teams at the top obviously have an advantage, as it should be. Patience here. NPCs getting involved a little bit. I don't know. Do you prefer... I mean, Team Squidward's got the high ground. They've got the high ground position where the brick is. And they're not picking it up yet. I think they're just going to kind of camp it and make Grimunity come to them because they hear the footsteps.
I mean, patience, right? You want to kind of bait them out if you can. They're going to have to come out eventually unless they choose a different path. And it looks like Grim here just looking to set up in case that is what is going to happen.
Yeah. And I will say, too, I mean, Sonic Traps are so good the way we're playing at this esports level to guard your flank. It's just so... I mean, it slows the character so much that has to run through them. So I think Grimunity's feeling a little bit more comfortable about their flank right now. Gives you a ton of information if they do proc as well, but... Let's keep in mind, by the way, some of the brick timers since, you know, we're one map off playing on a brick. If it gets picked up out of its spawn, there's a 6-minute timer to get it to a decoding station, no matter what happens to it, whether it exchanges hands, goes to the ground, 6 minutes. That timer expires. It goes back to a spawn, not even necessarily the same spawn. And then, once you put it into decoding station, it's 4 minutes. Anytime it's stolen, it's minus 30 seconds, but the minimum is 230. It's stolen with 10 seconds left. It goes back to 230. We've already spent almost 5 minutes of this clock staring at each other, waiting for somebody to make a move.
Be like, you go. No, you go. Oh, don't worry, I'll wait. Finally, we start to see some shots come through. Now, granted, we do have the NPCs that are lurking around that can, quite frankly, start an engagement. Because if I'm Team Squidward and I hear all of this happening, what do I want to do? Well, I'm going to turtle up. I'm still holding angles. I'm not budging. I won't fall for that.
Well, North America, you've done it again. You've taken patience as a virtue as the idiom and made it everything. I respect it. Nice sweaty plays here. But I think we're going to run into the timer issue again. Nobody's moving. Squidward. They've lost too many times. They're not going to move first. The last time they moved first, they got punished for it. Grim Unity. Exact same story. I feel like we're on an episode of National Geographic. The hunter... I was about to throw a very heavy British accent on, and I know I'm going to offend somebody in chat because it's going to be so terrible. So I'm not going to do
Where
it.
is Enigma when you need him, bro? Where is he?
I need David Attenborough to commentate this game, I suppose.
I mean, look, I'm here for it if you want to go ahead and give it a try.
Nope.
Explain the foliage of
No
brackish,
chance.
because there's really not much. Okay, talk to me about the blood on the wall.
I think that's from the NPC that ran by a moment ago.
It's okay.
But wow, yeah, this is good stuff. Well, we can look on the right-hand side. Guess what? SDLG doing what they do best. Run around the map and loot. Around the middle of the map, completely uncontested. Those look like BTW maybe in the same area as them, playing the north side. SDLG is kind of looted up. It looks like the entire right side of the map. And the Tower of Babel, of course, has two teams there, but Boom hasn't moved either. They're playing this kind of offside to see if potentially FBW decides to come out of Babel potentially that way. Not exactly sure, but good grief. I respect this play, but Tiff, I also get to make fun of them a little bit because we get to see the overhead view and everybody playing extremely scared. Doesn't mean they're not playing strategic. Doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. Somebody's got to move first. And it's not going to be Team Squidward. It doesn't look like it's going to be Grim Unity either. I want to see SDLG just do what they do, which is just sprint in here and try to grab the brick to force a fight.
Maybe they're just waiting for boomers to show up. Honestly.
Honestly, this is best case scenario for boomers, by the way. They played aggressive. They have power position. Nobody goes for the brick. Sick. They're still in the lead and nobody's contesting them.
All I'm here doing is as they're just patiently waiting is, I don't know if you're a White Lotus fan, Goj, but all I'm hearing in my head is tsunami or however she says it, bro. I can't recreate the accent. Hype no. No, that's not it. God, I'm so horrible. No matter how many times I heard it on TikTok, it's not going to stick in my brain.
I'm about to start doing TikTok dances on main. I what else am I supposed to do right now? These teams are locked in. National Geographic. Okay, wait a minute. Tsunami's moving. Folks, we've got some movement.
I summoned him.
Lost a bit of life to an NPC, and here's the first pickup. We've got the brick. Here goes, I said tsunami, and it is Sing Song that picks it up. Squidward has got the brick, and they've moved to the bathrooms.
All right, we saw the kind of setup that Boomers threw down in game number 2. It is all on to Squidward to make it happen. Squidward's only let me down a handful of times back in SpongeBob days, but you know what? I have faith in Howl, Tsunami, and Sing Song.
And I think the question is, which decoding station do you even go to at this point, right? I'm trying to sneak out, and it looks like Grim Unity's going to let them leave. Heard footsteps, but didn't hear maybe which direction they went. They can find the exit.
That is going to be tough.
I mean, we know, Tiff, that camp's the best play right now. I'm not
Or
sure
hotel.
they know. Yeah.
You could swing hotel. I wouldn't go market. It looks like, we're just dealing with the boomers vibing elsewhere, but I mean, we know what they do. They swing in at the last second. Boomers tend to be slow moving individuals, right? It is what it is. And quite frankly, you got about 10 minutes left on the clock, which is halfway gone. We know that extractions technically aren't really going to matter so long as you decode that Mandel brick. So keep eyes on the time, but they have made their way over to Asura Camp. Check out where the decoding station is. I'm looking for the setup tsunami because let me tell you, I have seen some crazy things. It happened just over on the Europe region. And I don't know if they saw that, but they should know what's about to happen if they did.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really interesting one to hold. Let's take a look at it. Shout out to Team Squidward. Sorry for flaming you. You did the right thing. You played patient. You grabbed the brick, and you got out. Very well done. Decoding has started. Everybody now has to move, or they're going to give up a position on the leaderboard because Squidward's team has started it. They know, by the way, that no match point team, a.k.a. the Boomers, they know the Boomers are not the ones decoding, and therefore it's not make or break. It's not the end of the tournament if this gets decoded, but everybody wants it because regardless of what your totals are, this brick matters most.
Just curious if people have already started running towards it, right? Let's keep an eye out.
Looks
okay.
like SDLG is on the move. BTW is playing mid and market. They might catch them. But, oh, speaking of a move, we've got a fight finally. Boomers have been hiding out in this building for a while, and because of that, they're going to catch their opponents unaware. FBWL full wiped and out of here. The Boomers' patience. The Boomers having a conversation in their spawn, and they heard the footsteps. A door was opened, and FBWL was punished for it.
All I know is they have awoken, right? It doesn't matter. You just play it slow. They wake up. As soon as a Mandel brick hits a decoding station, it's like, they smell it. They're awake.
Yeah, they're going to get a sizable amount of loot here. This is pretty good kits that they're bringing in. And part this AKM if they want to as well. Throw it in the secondary slot. Solid loot value. You're seeing 600k already from equal plays. Not bad day. Good looks. 2.5, 2.6 mil it's looking like. So
okay.
Not a bad match so far. It's going to help them if Squidward's team does end up getting this Mandel brick. Love to check back in over there and see what the timers are looking at. Wow. SDLG. Oh, there's Grimunity coming around the backside of SDLG. SDLG has moved first. And Grimunity smoking and running up the line on the outside.
All right. Well, now we're getting into some things. Let's make it happen. SDLG. Angles we're holding, waiting to see if someone's going to filter through this opening. Peep that map view. Boomers on the horizon. 1:20 left on the clock. They have to move. They have to move now. But it looks like Squidward's going to take a lesson from Boomers on that early on. Instead of situating themselves in the camp, right? Like, think of the catwalks we saw. We had Lunas that were just playing across the way and they got ripped apart. I don't care if they had high ground. It didn't work out for them. So now we're going to see this inevitable sandwich with Grimunity coming in from the northern side and Boomers filtering down on the south side of camp just now.
Great shout. Grimunity being patient, but has moved to a power position on the north side, like you said. And I think the Boomer strategy was, guys, we don't move an inch until that brick is decoding. All right? That's our strategy. Somebody tell me I'm wrong after the broadcast, but I bet that's what they said. And it looks like Sing Song's found an angle on Grimunity. Grimunity loses one, but they trade out one. So the Boomers, yet again, coming in for a favorable third party with a full team of 3. They don't know this player's on the left-hand side, though. And they're going to go for the brick steal to start. And because of that, equal plays gets cut down. They've got information likely on where that player could be. But maybe not. Maybe they weren't. There it is. Okay, we got magnetic bombs out. Now we know. Gonna play the backside of this brick, potentially go for the steal. As Howells does get cut down, Team Squidward is out of here, Tiff. As Grimunity's still in the area, but with one player on yellow, and SDLG says, we want a piece of this action. We're coming in for the third and fourth party.
Hey, get in there. January. Mind you, win
Yikes.
condition. If they decode it, what happens here? Boomers win. But when you are down to just one, you can make it happen. Use the chaos. Use it all. Grimunity has already stolen it. If you make a Hail Mary play, the smoke is already there. Look at him going in for the Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we go again. Boomers down out of the lobby, which means we're going to Space City, Goj.
Well, I'm so happy we're going to Space City. I'm also happy to see Grim Unity getting some dubs here. Nice fight, P90 in hand, and Grim Unity wipes all of the Boomers with ease. A little bit of a crazy retake. Here's the problem. Grim Unity, they might have wiped some of the players, but the map itself is getting back at them. I guess we're playing slow early as Blue Eagle gets a knock and is about to join the leaderboard if they're not careful. As our helicopter finally getting shot back at by Grim Unity. Make sure it can't harry them too much longer. The Boomers currently, by the way, have the timer on the brick. And I think Grim Unity is about to steal now. There it is. 2.5 minutes on the clock. You can start it now. That means Grim Unity's decode, the timer that we're looking for off of 5 minutes, is going to be 2.5 minutes on game clock is when they win this map with the mantle brick. If nobody else touches it here, Tiff.
All right, well, time is of the essence, especially when things get super mixy on these mantle brick rounds and all the resets. And SDLG BTW, they were pretty far away when all of these engagements started. And quite frankly, we're seeing the setup that Community is able to offer. And you've got Smile there. They're going to be the front line when it comes to SDLG. And look at that. He already finds one.
Here we go. Minute 43 and counting, and the action's getting fierce. Holding the right angle, going to go for a Viren knockdown potentially. Finn, first knockdown here for SDLG because of that first peak. I don't think Smile's going to be able to get the cleanup, so they should be able to get the revive here and armor repair to replay this fight. But remember the time. We're looking for about 2:35 or so on the game clock. That's the current decode timer. Even if you don't see it, if we're not in map view, that's what we're looking for because I think the action's about to get crazy, especially with BTW having rotated all the way down here and all three teams playing for this point. Grim Unity has a massive net setup with their setup of one forward with Smile, the off angle with Grim, and then one way back 60 MG playing around that brick decoding station, making sure nobody sneaks up from the backside. And that's the 60-second alert, by the way, is when that person says that.
All right. Well, we're running. We're trying to make it happen. We saw it get stolen away, but think about it this way, Goj. Once it gets stolen, doesn't it reset to 2:30?
Yeah, absolutely. If it does get snagged, Grim Unity's got it now counting down to 35 seconds.
You can deny it from them. No one's going to get it at that point because the time is not that on the map right now.
Yeah, really good shout. That is definitely something we saw in Simmy's too. You could basically suicide reset this to make sure they don't get the brick. Because if they don't get the brick, you don't get the brick. At least nobody else gets the brick. It's definitely a play here. If somebody's going to get this brick, it's either going to be Grim Unity right now in the next 10 seconds, or it's BTW if they can steal it right this very second. But they're going to get punished for pushing first. They do trade out one. It's a 1-for-1 trade and potentially a cleanup. We got 60 MG deep into the smoke. They're going to get the brick because nobody can get there in time. 60 MG playing savior. Even if he doesn't win this, Grim Unity is on the board with the brick and he wins it anyways. He doesn't even care. Show me a P90. Get into the mix. Grim Unity setting up for the kill and the execution. Grim Unity on top with the brick and Grim Unity on top with the kills. 2 minutes on the clock. It doesn't matter. They've got the brick, but they've got 9 kills on this map thus far with only SDLG still on the map.
Look, Goj, and they've got another in their sights. They're going to finish this thing off. Some shots going out. We are just going to keep on putting that pressure. Dynamic propulsion for some epic moves across the way. You grab the knock and put you on double digits in terms of kills. Plus a Mandel brick. Can you make a more perfect round occur?
Yeah, this is, welcome to the party, Grim Unity. I was waiting on you to show up. I could appreciate your patience and the slow play, but congratulations. Perfectly executed around the brick. I really love the way they set 60 MG back on the backside of the decode station, completely out of any fight. They said, don't even show your face at all if anybody comes in unless they go for the brick and approach it. And if they do, then you take your shots. You are our backup guy. You are our savior on the brick. And because he was there, nobody could get there in time. We do see one player from SDLG at least get out with some loot value, which is going to be nice for the race for third, Tiff. But the two teams at the top are going to be Boomers and then Grim Unity because they're the only two teams with those mantle bricks. And I got to say, too, it's looking like they got decent loot value. 2.2 mil plus their 10 kills. Remember, 150k in Technic Alloy per kill for the team. So they're going to get 1.5 mil just from kills. The dog tags also have increased value in this tournament server. I mean, this is a really big game that puts Grimmunity not only into top 2, potentially into first place.
This is where I was shouting out when we were looking at the leaderboard prior to this map. It was all about if Boomers don't close this out, if they don't get the second Mandel brick across some of these maps, right? What's going to happen when someone else gets on the leaderboard with a Mandel brick? They knew that they had the issue of loot value, and quite frankly, they're down and out of this game. So whatever they had in their safe boxes is all they're going to be able to go up on the leaderboard in terms of that. They also had 4 kills. It's not going to be double digits for Grimmunity, but I mean, it is still substantial in terms of, like you said, but we'll see. We'll let everyone kind of do some work.
Value with these two operators, or the same operator for both teams, that they're going to actually have more opportunities to rotate around this map a bit easier because they do still have Stinger.
Ooh, actually good shout, right? I'm always looking at some of the assault operators, but when you think about having Stinger in your back pocket, I bet this is where it's going to make a play for them as we see the round MVP. Okay, Grimmunity making a name for yourself. We saw the double-digit kills, but it's going to be 60 MG walking away with 6, and honestly, how can you compete with that?
Yeah, and again, I mean, this team had a total of, you can see it here, 10 kills as a team. So all 3 are on the leaderboard for the round MVP, but 60 MG is going to be at the top of that leaderboard. So they will earn the right to join the rest of the folks in the top 4, if you will, of our 4 different round MVPs. So here's our race at the top. We have now bumped one of our BTW players out of the race, or at least in the top 3, as these are the top 3 technically, because it goes in order of teams as our tiebreaker.